Sitting right next to me, writer and comedian Jesse Joyce. You can see him on Comedy Central. That's so exciting. Among the potential perils, failure of climate change mitigation and adaptation, extreme weather events, and profound political and social instability.
This list,
yes,
like this is every year. It weather and countries not getting along. Like that's the same shit. Like, why do they have an annual meeting?
Yeah,
they just like once a year come in and go like, all right, guys. So what do you say? War and floods again? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the sun might explode. Cool. See you next year. Like, what's the point? Like,
it's like they were trying to get out early.
Yeah, it's like every single year to say like, except like 1939, they probably added Hitler, and then like 10,000 BC, giant bears were on the list. Other than that, it's the same list every year.
On November 10th, 1940, Walt Disney begins serving as an FBI informant. The FBI hired Disney in 1940 to help root out enemies of America. Hey, Walt, we're in a jam here. It's the 1940s. America's #1 enemy right now is a middle-aged white guy who hates Jews, has a creepy mustache, and the undivided attention of children. You know anybody who fits that description?
Even Dr. Seuss contributed propaganda to the war effort.
This is a question I ask myself all the time. What am I doing to help save us from Hitler and Margaret Cho?
The Indianapolis Star's executive editor pulled Gary Varvel's cartoon, which featured a white family upset at what I assume are Hispanic people climbing through their window to share Thanksgiving with them.
Very few families in America have ever experienced their Thanksgiving being ruined by migrant workers. But I imagine a lot more families have had their Thanksgiving ruined by a guy in his 50s named Gary saying racist about Mexicans.
December 2nd, 1961, Cuban leader Fidel Castro declares that Cuba is going to adopt a communist government. And like most adopted things, Cuba's method of government will be insecure, desperate to prove itself, and Chinese.
The town of Dortmund, Germany, is debating setting a gender quota for the city's crosswalk lights. Some German cities already have them, though Berlin, which is somewhere near France, decided not to install any over concerns the skirt and pigtail symbol is sexist. All right, Jesse, sexist, stupid, or both?
A lot of everything. First of all, I think that Germans are so literal and obedient that they've literally, there's women that have been standing on the corner for 50 years waiting because they just didn't know it was okay for, oh, I just thought it was for the men. But also, I don't know if you know this statistic, but if you're going to get into gender equality issues, Germany, on average, women earn 22% less than men. And out of the 27 EU member states, only Estonia and Slovakia have a bigger gender pay gap.
Wow.
And those countries are far too busy kidnapping Liam Neeson's daughter to give a about gender equality.
On October 12, 1492, Columbus reaches the New World. Christopher Columbus is the worst thing to happen to brown people since the opening of a rent-a-center. Columbus set out to find India. So great job. Hey everyone, let's take a day off in October and reflect and celebrate the day that Dizzy Guinea didn't find India.
She wonders why the Academy Awards have separate categories for male and female actors.
It seems kind of anachronistic to me that they separate the men and the women in the awards. I know they want to give out more awards, but why do you have to separate it into this like best actor and best actress? Why can't they all compete against each other?
I don't think this lady's doing enough. I think we need to break down the gender bias with People's Sexiest Man Alive. Why is that exclusive? And furthermore, I think we should all pick it Hallmark, because I'm not cool with the world's greatest grandmother mugs. Why, just because I am an unmarried dude in his mid-30s with no children, should I not be in the running for a world's greatest grandma mug?
You should.
Yeah, thanks.
That is genius. I love that idea.
Alfred Nobel was born next week. He was the creator of the Nobel Prize and the inventor of dynamite, which resulted in the most unintended deaths from an invention since the printing press was used to copy the Bible.
Press Secretary Jay Carney's kitchen is adorned with evil, disgusting Soviet propaganda. A profile of his wife in the Washingtonian magazine features 2 framed Soviet-era posters. This makes me sick.
I just would like to point out, for those of you who don't understand the timeline of history, that those are World War II era Russian posters when they were on our side. They were good guys and they won World War II for us.
Yes.
They then went crazy, but just because you own O.J. Simpson's rookie card doesn't mean you condone cutting your wife's head off. Just because you have a Thriller poster doesn't mean that you're signing off on boy. You do understand that there was a time when they were on our side.
That is very astute.
I know. Thank you.
Despite the foul language that will be edited out of this show.
Alfred Nobel's invention was ultimately used for evil, which brings us to our segment, Inventions Used for Evil. First, the motion picture. Thomas Edison invents it in the hopes of producing moving images that could be shared with the world. A century later, M. Night Shyamalan used it to produce people who wanted their money back. Secondly, the automobile, developed by Henry Ford, who had a dream that one day it would become the leading mode of transportation. Years later, it would be used to drive M. Night Shyamalan to a set where he could make shitty movies. Thirdly, the polio vaccine was invented by Jonas Salk so that all future generations would never contract the scourge of polio. Unfortunately, later it was given to M. Night Shyamalan, who then did not get polio. That joke had a terrific ending, because M. Night Shyamalan didn't direct it.